Sunrise, well, we've got Abu Andrew, who is a member of the APC, joining us from Abuja. Good morning, Andrew, and thank you for joining us today. But, you know, all eyes are on the executive, not just executive, your party. Can they deliver? We've got that 23% unemployment rate that they need to drop. They need to move their projections from, beyond 2%, talking about economic growth. Access to credit, single digit, that's the target many think they should set. Do you think that your party can deliver on these expectations by Nigerians?
Okay, thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians. The party and the government of President Muhammadu Buhari is definitely going to deliver. We don't have an option. At least we've been in for 4 years. The government has been in for 4 years, and the least we can do is to consolidate on the positive gains that the government has come up with in the last 4 years. And it just behoves on the president to choose the right team, which we are 100% sure that is going to happen. And we're in for a better and a smoother ride for this next 4 years. And I'm asking Nigerians to be very positive. And generally, it has to do with everybody's contribution. There's no time for us to start putting the blames on whether the government is performing well or not. All we need to do as a people is to see how we can individually and as a group and as a society, state and federal government put hands together to ensure that the country Nigeria works. So a lot of positives is going to happen. There's going to be a huge turnaround for this government of the president from 2019 till 2023.
Well, you know, there are many who will ask you, on what grounds do you give these assurances that a lot of these things are going to happen? Why do you say so?
Now, when the government came in 2015, it was a total change from a new government and political party to a new, an old government political party to a new government and a new political party. So there were a lot of hiccups here and there. Now, it took a period of time for us to clear all the anomalies that the present government met on ground when it came in 2015. So it is only natural that as it stands today, the gains, the positive gains in the last 4 years will be consolidated upon, and more achievements will come into bear.
Oh,
because whether we like it or not, the president...
Yeah, just a minute. This narrative that states usually say, analysts say, they don't think that, the nation is structured for economic development. States have got huge potential, but they don't seem to be able to take advantage of it. The NIPP, some of them say, look, they don't seem to be able to do anything because of the inhibitions they've got with some of those. How do you think the center should approach these issues?
Okay, first of all, I think I agree with the people that feels the state is not doing much. Because if you see some states have policies they are festering on and that is working for them. And I'll give you an example of such a state. Kebbi, for instance, Lagos State, and a few other states have policies on agriculture that is working perfectly well for them. And I don't see why a lot of states, especially around the Middle Belt, I don't see why they cannot take a cue from states that are benefiting hugely from agriculture. So whether we like it or not, the states have got a lot of work cut out for them. And as far as a lot of people are concerned, the states are not doing much. The reliance on the federal government or the reliance on allocation at the center is just nothing to go right home about. So the state has got a lot of work to do at least to boost what the federal government is doing at the center.
Give us your impression about the power sector. Are you satisfied with how things are in that area?
Okay, for power, at least from what the minister has told us, we pretty much don't have problems with generation. We've always had problems with distribution. And I think it has to do with capacity. Now, whether we like it or not, there are a lot of things that needs to be reviewed when it comes to power, especially. So many things have to be reviewed. The privatization that was done and the people that took over facilities on power, whether they have capacity to deliver on it and all of that. I think there need to be a review into the whole power sector.
In other words, you're not satisfied with how things are in that sector at the moment, all the efforts they put in notwithstanding?
It has improved. At least there has been an increase. There has been an increase in generation. You know, so I think we are moving. Unfortunately, what we expect is not how it is happening or how it's going. We will expect more to happen, especially on the part of distribution of this power, because at the point of distribution is when end users make use of this power. So whether we like it or not, there need to be a review, a reasonable level of review for us to be able to see how improvement can be done. I mean, there's room for improvement. What we have is not the best. I mean, it can be better. And I'm hoping that in the next 4 years, the power and the distribution of power is going to be at least 80 to 85%.
Mr. Andrew, how receptive is your party to the opposition's comments and opinions? Because it would seem like every time the opposition spoke, the only thing you heard was accusation. So how receptive is your party to anything constructive or whatever that the opposition would push to you?
Okay, I'm happy. Okay, I'm happy that you use the word constructive, because look, whether we like it or not, if you have constructive criticism, I mean, everybody will be open to it. Fortunately, we have a president that does not meddle into authorities. You know, we have a president that allows things to work freely, you know, and is open to listen to all dissenting voices. But you see, I think what the opposition in the last 4 years have done is just to raise issues where there are no issues. Raise issues in a manner that does not feel like this country has to move, you know. Now, if we have opposition coming up with counter policies that brings the flaws of the policy of this government, it goes a long way. But you don't come out and criticize things that you don't have an option for, or you are not providing an alternative for. So if we keep having an opposition that is thriving on ensuring that the government fails, I mean, at the end of the day, if the government succeeds or fails, it affects everybody negatively or positively.